You are 16-year-old standing out of your classroom and you are unable to pay the fees.
My father was making literally 3,000 rupees a month with a family of 5 living on rent. I would say my story is very common and there are like probably 500 million people in India are in that category.
What exactly happened to you that made you to shift in that mindset?
A very big podcaster. He said,
This is Sandeep Nailwal. He started from the slums of India by selling pens just to survive.
Today, he is India's first crypto billionaire and leads the billion-dollar blockchain Polygon, building one of the world's most trusted blockchain ecosystems.
Meet the man who rose from poverty to build a billion-dollar empire, impacting millions of lives worldwide.
Does money really makes you happier?
money buys in chunk, doesn't buy constant happiness.
Is there any number in your mind person reach this net worth, he can be kind of financially free?
Probably is that number you make. After that, greed has no limit.
How does future look like for Polygon in 2030?
I want Polygon to be the number one stablecoin platform in the world.
Do you think someday stablecoin can replace UPI?
I don't think any blockchain can do 600 million transactions a day, and stablecoins are not scaled at that level.
You recently mentioned about Ethereum as a shit show. So if you ever start again, you will like to still be part of the Ethereum ecosystem, or you will be like doing everything independent? Favorite गाली कौन सी है?
Mother.
Sandeep bhaiya, everyone knows you as a co-founder of Polygon and a bade bhaiya and a big brother of crypto. ठीक है? Many, like very less people know about your story, in which when you are 16-year-old, you are standing out of your classroom and you are unable to pay the fees. And right now you're running a billion-dollar company and a crypto network. What has been changed for you? And if we want to speak to that 16-year-old Sandeep.
First of all, like the media or whatever we are doing, this content space and all that, to make it interesting, everybody tries to make it like they try to make it like more interesting. But I would say my story is very common and very similar to a lot of people in India, like growing up story.
Okay.
Because I was like, let's say, lower middle class, or maybe like sometimes bordering the poor class or lower middle class, right? So there are like probably 500 million people in India who are in that category, right? And then there are like many kids like me who do things like that. So there's no different, or my story is like any like crazier than this. Like a lot of my friends around me and all that might have like a little bit better than me, but like not very great stories, right? So so I mean, these kind of situations, like fees not getting paid and all that happens to a lot of people from my strata, like where I was from. And obviously the only difference might be that makes a lot of people risk averse. And to me, somehow, like I took all of those things as extremely, as my risk basis. So my calculation was that generally when you go through like this very constrained kind of childhood and this and that, what you do is like you become a very big money saver, and and for early parts of my life, like when I did not start in business, I was very frugal in the sense, like I would not kind of like, just like any Indian guy, like that's why we are meme. We have a meme, like Indians have a meme of being cheap. So I am like, I was also like very cost conscious, very conscious. But once I like full time came into the business and all that and started growing and all that, and in my business, my philosophy is that where I come from, where I have lived my life, most of my life, I lived like absolutely here, right? And even though I like screw up big time, I can't go to that level. Like I'm still at like much better level, right? So even before I did Polygon, right? So I started making some money and all that, and in India, if you start making 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees a month, it's very, very comfortable salary in India, right? So I was already there. So that became my risk basis. That from here now, I cannot go below than this unless I die and then my family. So I had to, and by now that is also fixed. Like their financial, kind of safety is guaranteed. Even if I die, like they will, not go to that level, right? So they will be at certain level. So that is my risk basis. From there, now anything I do can only go up, right? Cannot go down. And I'm not interested in anything mediocre. That's the second difference that I might have. I'm not interested in mediocre things that, I made some few $1 million and all that. No. Like either I'm here, I'm good wherever I am, or I'm going to shoot for the stars and only shoot for the stars. And that is the good thing about me and the bad things about me, right? Like if, let's say, somebody is investing in the businesses I am doing and all that, and they should clearly know, and I again and again and again keep telling, and this is the part, like they should know that I am not interested in anything in the middle. So I'm not interested in making sustainable, value here and there and all that. I'm only interested in, if it becomes big, it will be huge. Otherwise, it is here, right? So if you are investing in anything I am doing, then then you are taking a bet for this. Don't worry about don't think that, it could have been this. And then, why you are not doing this so that it can come here. No, because I'm not doing that. That's not how I operate. I only operate for this. So that is a very important message, and that's the the connection of that story, that not being able to pay fees to this. That is my risk basis actually. I can't go back to not, like my kid, probably like 99.9%, unless something like complete tragedy happens, something I don't know, it cannot go back to not paying fees, right? So now everything above this is good, and this is my risk field, and I'm going to play bigger and bigger.
As you mentioned, you started as a frugal kid, okay, but later you became a very risk-taking person. What exactly happened to you that made you to shift in that mindset?
Like that is what I'm saying, that see, the Chris Williamson, a very big podcaster, right? So he sometimes mentioned, and I think this is true for any kind of this thing. So he said that there are two kinds of people in the world. Everybody goes through pain in this world, right? And then you can choose two paths. One path is I went through pain and I'll make sure everyone goes through pain. Or you can say went through pain and I don't want to see the world in pain. So I will help other people, right? So the same thing is there for the risk also. I went through extreme, kind of cash trapped or kind of money strapped business or life. And there could have been two paths for me. One is I will save as much and I'll make every small money I'm taking, and I will store and save, and I'll be very risk-averse person. And I see a lot of my middle class friends living exactly like that. They are always trying to get something secured. They want to secure stuff, like land le leta hu. Should I buy land? Should I do this? Should I do this? But for me, I took the other path, that okay, I have this. Of course, I need money for basic survival and all that. Once I did that, then I started taking much more risk. Once I secured my financial safety of my family, that okay, if some health problem happens, something happens, they have enough, resources to, take care of them. Then from here, now, I don't care. Once you reach here, then beyond that, no money is enough for you, right? So I don't want to play for money. I only want to play for, doing big impact at the humanity level, doing things which people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and Demis Hassab is, quite frankly, they are playing at that level where they are trying to change the world in some form, right? And that also I also want to do. Of course, I am at a much smaller level than these guys, but I want to do what they are doing and do similar to what they are doing things. Yeah, so that's the thing.
What's your goal in life, right? What's your mission statement right now?
My goal, my ultimate mission is actually getting the ultimate freedom. I call it sovereign individual, ultimate freedom for everyone who wants to pursue. And that is a very sci-fi kind of thing. The sci-fi, you would have AI. When AI will come, everybody will have enough money. Everybody will have enough, food and everything. Basic things will be taken care of. And people, by that time, we will be also in the space age, right? So I think in 20 to 50 years, somewhere between this time, you would be able to take your, the same way today, if there is a safe space, US people go to Alaska and all that, they take a car and they'll camp if they want to. Some people want to, living in the wild, they can live alone in the wild, they have everything and all that. Same thing will happen, I think, on the space level also. You will have small spaceships and all that. As an individual, or you and your family, you just want to go and then you are roaming around in the space. You have food and resources that you can stock from here and there. And then you are living there fully individually, fully free from anything. You can still, like Balaji says, the nation states, in that future state, you can still subscribe to be a part of a community. You can still say no, I will live here where thousands of people are living. But if you wanted to, you could completely break free from any other kind of authority over you. So that sovereign individual, kind of in that sense, ultimate sovereign individual is where I want to see the world and humanity to go to. And so that's my ultimate dream. But then, between that, then that's broken down into multiple ways. Like, so what do you need for that? You need completely free money, free movement of money, where, like cross border, cross planet in coming days. You need that kind of system. So Polygon is building those kind of like money movement systems. Then you need probably for that AI stuff, like and then with the Sentient AI, which is like really has become very good, one of the top like open source reasoning companies, AI reasoning companies, and they will do more stuff and decentralize AI governance, because one thing that you are missing over there is that you need like decentralized safety mechanism or law and order. Like imagine everybody is roaming everywhere around. You need decentralized, not controlled by one single party, but controlled by some collective conscience, a law and order system which is owned by a collective conscience of humanity. So that you need. So I'm doing AI and AI especially in the governance part, like where somebody else governs the AI brain. So that is the second part.
Okay.
And the third part is going to be like, obviously the actual space technology and all that, which I cannot do because I have enough things going on enough things on my plate. But maybe, in 3, 4, 5 years, I would do something related to space and all that, like maybe space vehicles. But I will not probably go this early. Maybe I'll go later, and then, maybe people are designing their space pods and all that. Maybe I'll do something there. So that would be the third thing for me. And then, these three things. And that's when, like, I think, I don't know, like right now I'm like already 38. Maybe I don't know what's the lifespan is going to be, maybe 70, 88 years. I'll keep fighting and keep, working on these things because that's my interest. And eventually my time is out and then I'm out and then somebody else will do those things. That's the simple path of my life. I will keep doing these innovative, interesting things in the deep tech and this and that because I love doing this. And eventually my time will be up.
So you mentioned about the free flow of money, which you are building Polygon, right? And second is Sentient AI. Could you please, if like I'm your Uber driver and you want to explain me Sentient AI, exactly how you will explain?
So Sentient AI is a very simple simple thing is that Sentient AI is building AI in a way that it is not controlled by one single company.
Okay.
Right now, when they use any AI, they use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is controlled by one single company, that is OpenAI. Sentient AI is trying to build AI which is not owned and controlled by one single party. It will be controlled by collectively, possibly entire humanity, but initially at least like controlled by few people. So what we are starting is that whatever Sentient builds is fully open source, right? And then maybe the next step of that would be that then it is decentralized governed also. Right now it's like purely it can do stuff on the open source. And then there are use cases coming up, like, which is different. There might be different use cases which, Sentient or a sub-entity of Sentient uses that open source to build, let's say, a financial use case or some use case that's separate. But Sentient's core heart is about building this AI, completely making it open source, not owned by anybody. So if I have a ChatGPT like strong, kind of AI, you can also use that same source code and you can build for your own. Everybody is able to do their own. Eventually reach a place where you download on your phone, and your phone or your own cloud instance, your AI is running only privately for you. That would be the benefit of this open source, this thing.
So like when it comes to competition, OpenAI, like all these big giants don't have just billions of dollars, they have now trillions of dollars, right? So how we are going to compete with them? Because like, larger scale, we have seen very few startups were able to like compete with Web2 companies on a larger scale. So how do you think what will be the main advantage and we are going to compete them?
See, actually, if you see Linux Foundation is the perfect example where the same thing when Linux Linux started, at that time you had like IBM, Microsoft already this big. And it looked like, there is no way that anything can compete with that, right? Eventually, because open source, people are contributing to it. Not one single party is competing. Initially, it's like a little bit fragile and this and that. But then some people who are motivated enough, they are contributing. Slowly, it's becoming bigger. And then beyond a certain point, it reaches a place where it is good enough that now actual people start using it and end users start using it. So that is the kind of, right now that's what the path. Like I again want to say that with Sentient, the goal is to build like the actual useful AI for the world, right? Which gets used in something. In future, like those paths can open, but then the mission is actually like make sure that the AI is owned by everyone. That's the goal. And so obviously you are right. Like I'm not saying that it will immediately start competing with the ChatGPT and Gemini and all that. Probably never. But at least what we are trying to build is that there is an alternative available. Like DuckDuckGo is there, right? That DuckDuckGo, like there is a Google, like you have the Google search, you search on Google, right? There's a DuckDuckGo search which doesn't take your data, doesn't sell you ads and all that. And it has like good 2 to 4% of the market. Not very big, but I mean, not maybe 2 to 4% is wrong, but like even 1%, whatever it is, that there are users for that, and you don't need to have like 90% of the users. As far as we are able to build for those 1% users, and with AI, that the power laws is like, let's say we build this open source and 1 or 2 of the users become so big or they use it so well that they then start, kind of controlling some things and all that.
So according to you, if any founder is listening this podcast, even if they target a small part of a huge ocean, that's good, according to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you should be clear about like what is your mission, right? Like what you are trying to do. Like for us, for Sentient, that's the mission. For Polygon, that might be a different mission, right? Like, okay, we want to be payments network, right? Payment and stablecoin network where everybody processes their stablecoin. The world is moving towards stablecoin economy. So then everybody should be processing their transactions on this. So there we might want to, have a larger share of the market. There, being a 4% market share doesn't make sense. So it's like, see, what I always say is the game of life has been built in a way that there is a function which equals to multiple combinations of functions. Each function is also combination of multiple variables, and none of the variable you can fine tune to one side, right? You can't say that for a founder, you should be okay with small market share. There is no correct answer, right? There is always fine tuning of that variable or that individual function, and you have to try to reach a fine line and see what works for you, what is in your context, this thing. For some entrepreneur, yes, like, small market share is perfectly fine. I think Linux, when Linus Torvalds was building, like he didn't care about like everybody building it. He just wanted to have a fully open source equivalent for himself and the people who would want it. And then, see some of these things become the revolutions later on. So it's completely different. Like, yeah.
Okay. So do you feel there is any kind of framework or roadmap for any founder getting started, and they can follow this framework or roadmap step-by-step process that can help them to achieve success faster or better?
Yeah, I think like there is no formula. This is exactly
Really?
what I said. There is absolutely no formula. Like there is so many things, so many variables. Like it's a multivariate problems where like the number of variables are also getting added every day. Like you thought of something, macro markets changed. You thought of something, you were building something, suddenly somebody close one of your family gets detected with a cancer. Now you have to pay attention to that, right? That is a part of luck. Like people don't realize that there is luck, but there is anti-luck also, right? I say that, having no luck is better than anti-luck. Anti-luck is where you are really talented, everything you are doing great. Suddenly, like, it happened with one of the person I knew, very, very good guy. I really respect, but his mother got detected with cancer. So 2 years, his time was lost, and that market then, was captured by other people. So that's anti-luck is also very important that, some people will be constantly saying like, yeah, my luck doesn't hit and all that, but they don't realize that they're still at zero luck. Zero luck is better than anti-luck. So again, like, coming back to your main thing, but yeah, that's not a good answer. Like, if somebody wants to hear, okay, as a founder, what should be my formula of success? What is the formula of success? And I'm thinking that for me, most important thing is, I think, originality, right? What is the originality? What I'm trying to say with originality is basically originality and honesty with your own self. So who you are. Like, so there are many people who are very good at building profitable, like they want to build a small but profitable business and they want to grow with that only. So if you are in that, if you are that kind of person, then you should think of, joining an industry which is a red ocean industry where there is a proven market, right? For example, what you are doing, right? Podcasting and, this content creation, right? That market is already there. There are like 3 billion customers are already there. 3 billion viewers are there. I want to capture as much of this, right? So this is a market where market is already there. And this is where like you probably see, or there will be a lot of variables in between, lot of unknowns and normal unknowns and unknown unknowns. Both of the things are going to be there for you. But still you have a market. For some people, they are like, I want to do something at a very cutting edge scale, right? Where there will be no market. So when we are doing Polygon, right, there's no market for this. So I like doing that parts. Like with the Sentient AI, what the Sentient AI team is doing. It's completely uncharted territory. Completely. Probably it's not even possible to create an AI model which is governed by an external party, right? Not even possible. Probably. And so basically like that originality and trueness to yourself is very important. But I was just thinking that, you are doing the English content now, right? And I see this thing, like I've seen your Hindi content, which is very, very good. English content, probably you'll have a lot of catch up to do there. Like you want to do it for the global crowd and all that. So one other part is basically follow your strengths. Okay. So if I had to advise you, I'll say, bro, you are really doing good in Hindi. And there is Hindi, there is a huge market, like like Raj Shamani and Ranveer and so many people doing it. Like Nikhil is literally doing, but he's not doing in Hindi, but he's doing it for Indian audience. There's a huge audience available there. So the second part of the formula is like try to be original or be honest with your own self, what you are. So if you do that, then you will not go through a lot of pain which entrepreneurship brings in. Even though you will still go through a lot of pain, but if you are honest with yourself, you're doing something which you really want to do, the way you want to do, probably you will have a little bit less bearable pain. Otherwise, the pain is unbearable being an entrepreneur. Like you are an entrepreneur, you understand like so many variables, every day the people have expectation for you. Now you have like how many, 15 people team. Everybody is looking up to you. That, oh yeah, they're looking up to you literally for their salary also, right? So that's what. Second is your focus on your strengths, right? If you do things the way where your strength is, you probably have a better chance of winning, because entrepreneurship is an extremely hard game, right? And like, for example, I'll give you example of Polygon very honestly, right? So my strength is, let's say, distribution and, talking to a lot of people, customers, this, that, and when they talk to me, they know that because I play win-win games, right? So a lot of people want to work with us. So partnerships and customers onboarding is much easier for me because the other parties see that they're good. So that's my, side, my strength, core strength, like, right? So, but in Polygon, like last 2-3 years, we were focused extremely on research, right? So if you are a founder who's like actually a researcher, and then you are focusing on research, there is a higher chance that you will deliver something big. Even though Polygon delivered something really big, like the ZK technology right now, whatever is used in the industry, underlying you will either see the designs taken from Polygon or the libraries like Plonky 3 built by Polygon, people are building those things. And then now like the full product like Zisk VM, which is also incubated inside Polygon. But thing is that the right direction? I now think that was not the right direction for me, because me as a founder, my DNA, my core strength, my zone of genius is distribution. And so I will focus on only distribution. So build the core products, use open source and build reliable and easy to integrate products. But then I put my energy into this and take it to large distribution. That's what like I'm trying to do. So those things actually long-term win, because it's so hard. Like the only reason is it's so hard. If it was easy, you could do like where you don't have your strength. So I feel that, for example, your strength is a lot in let's say Hindi and Indian audiences and all that. That is also good. But obviously it's always good to shoot big also. I am also saying that you should shoot for the big. You are shooting for the big. And now you have the benefit of AI also. You could literally pass on this and just tell AI that fix wherever you have any, let's say, these things, grammatical problems or whatever, fix those problems.
Let's say I'm your Uber driver, okay? I bought Polygon in 2021 when L2 was a huge hype, okay? And Polygon was cracking every single day new partnerships. But I don't know what exactly happened to MATIC. And that turned into Pol token. So if I'm your Uber driver, how you will explain me exactly what happened and what is Pol right now?
Yeah. My answer to Uber driver would be that imagine you were driving the local taxi before, right? So MATIC and Polygon, previously MATIC network was like a local taxi business. It's a separate business. Then we actually said that we will actually now build an Uber business where we will actually have millions of cars. Previously, we were driving one single car, which is MATIC chain. Now we said there will be millions of cars in the world, millions of chains in the world, and everybody will have their own chains. So then we said that that's why Poly, like multiple chains, Poly market, Polygon, right? So Poly market is multiple markets there. So Polygon is like multiple kinds of chains will be there here on Polygon. That's why we change the direction of the product, and that's why we wanted the name to fully reflect that. Having said that, MATIC being a market asset, looks like it was not a great decision because a lot of people knew about MATIC, like a lot of people who don't understand technology and the Uber drivers literally, they never knew, they don't know about Pol, they don't know what happened to MATIC and all that. So this is like an ongoing discussion on Twitter. Like I initiated the discussion that if the community wants that MATIC should come back, I don't know how technically we can still achieve it, but maybe we can request exchanges that, if they change the ticker name to MATIC, because, on blockchain, you can't edit some of the things and it's not editable. The name is not editable, but probably we can ask people to migrate all their MATIC to Polygon and Polygon chain where, the community can do a governance and say that, okay, we want to change the name of the ticker. Probably that's possible. So yeah, but this is there so the answer to that is Polygon was like a one single chain business before, and it then became MATIC network or single chain business. Polygon is a multi-chain is an environment. So that's why we wanted the brand to reflect for the next 2 decades to come, right? So that's why we changed the name. But the token name probably could have stayed MATIC.
Okay. So do you think that there can be a chances that we can go back to MATIC? Is there any chances?
I think it's all about blockchains are social community owned businesses, right? So if the community feels that yes, that is a right call, it might as well go. I just have to check the technical feasibility, and I have not put up a vote. First, there should be a vote.
Yeah.
Let's see how many people vote. If most people vote, for MATIC, probably we will. Then I'll see the technical feasibility.
So recently, we came to know about the Indian government launching its own INR stablecoin, okay, and also creating the blockchain.
No, Indian government is not launching the stablecoin. It's basically there is an entity. There are some startups in India which are launching INR stablecoin. Indian government launch CBDC. Indian government will never launch their own stablecoin.
Okay, so they are helping with that?
The Indian government doesn't help private businesses to do their business, but they can approve or disapprove.
Okay.
And right now there is no stablecoin regulation officially in India, but the departments are generally friendly that okay, you want to innovate on something, you want to show how this works and all that. And globally, stablecoins are a big sector, becoming a big sector. So yeah, sure, try. So, but then there is no official regulation like US has Genius Act. There's no act like that in India. So right now what we are doing is these startups are doing is they are talking to as many government departments as possible and explaining them their position and all that. And then Polygon is helping them. So the governments also know that, okay, this is not like somebody just, woke up and they're trying to do a scam or anything here. It's like a, legitimate teams are trying to bring this new technology to India.
I think it might be very hard because it's something very new for the government as well.
Yeah.
Do you think in 2026 we can see USDC or USDT of INR, like INR?
It should be. See, I was in India yesterday only and I spoke with again multiple government officials, and my opinion to them is that they should definitely try this, because what is happening in India, I think and the same thing is happening with a lot of geographies, but many of those geographies in Africa and LATAM, they have lost control of their currencies. India is obviously like one of the top 5 economies in the world and all that, so it's the currency is a very important subject. But what I'm seeing is that people want to use stable coins for cross-border payments and all that, and they are now using USD, USDT, USDC more and more and more. And we can see around, right? Like you would have also seen a lot of people like trying or using this. Like this is becoming a norm. And so what is happening is that I see that the intellectual dollarization or the mental dollarization of Indian economy is happening. And I think being an Indian, and I am a big believer of the Indian Union and the India country, our nation, and I don't think that the Indian economy and the individual user in India should become dollarized, right? So they should remain in stablecoin. So whatever they are doing in stablecoin, have an INR stablecoin. Of course, I am biased because we are helping building that INR stablecoin also. So take it with a pinch of salt. But anybody else, I am saying like other people also do INR stablecoin. Just have a Genius Act, and Indians can use this INR stablecoin after that. But they use the INR. Their base currency is still INR. It doesn't become dollar, which I am seeing is happening a lot. To the young generation, they only think in dollars. Like many of the people, they think in dollars.
Like as you know that UPI is already huge in India. Like 20 billion worth of transactions happen approx every day, and 600 million plus of transaction daily. Okay, so do you think someday INR stablecoin can replace UPI or something?
No, I think UPI is obviously like much more scalable business right now. I don't think any blockchain can do 600 million transactions a day, and so those stable coins are not scaled at that level, but maybe they can be, and they'll be much easier to integrate after that. But point is like I think that stable coins and UPI are completely different use case. UPI is a local local usage, this thing. Stable coins are more for cross-border remittances, these kind of things, where you don't have to go through the banks, but you can directly, and of course, like I'm aware that India has a lot of governance around that, like how do you move money outside, inside, and all that, and so those things needs to be clarified, like all those user journeys, like how they will happen and how the compliance will be there. We want to obviously do a very compliant stable coin in India, which Indian government has full visibility into. Yeah, UPI basically are completely, I think, complementary system. UPI is local business, stable coins are for cross-border, but slowly they will also get used. And what we are trying to do is we will have this interoperability between UPI, CBDC and stablecoin, so that like everything is digitized. The core goal of the government is to be fully digitized, right? Digital economy. And with stable coins, like we would like to do that. We would like to integrate all of these things together.
Any other partnerships do you feel so coming out of India, or any politicians you seeing becoming a pro crypto?
So we keep see the India geography. India as a geography also is not very capitalistic in nature. Like I was listening to what's his name? Divya Kirti sir. What is his first name? Like he's very popular these days. The IS teacher, right?
IS wale.
So like his podcast with, I think he was on podcast with Raj Shamani recently, and he was mentioning that in India, like India hates money basically. Like as a culture, we hate money, right? The way we build this whole, like he explained about the caste system also. So basically the knowledge, the Brahmins basically, has been given higher title, whatever in this system. I am also, by the way, I am a Brahmin, so I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying that he was saying that system is built in India, that the knowledge is given higher priority than, or higher reputation than even the kings, and then the money makers, like the Baniyas, the Vaishya Samaj and all that. And the reason for that is, and then obviously the Shuddha Samaj, and basically I think like this stable coin and for crypto is such a money related matter that for any politician to come out in full blown support of crypto, what people are immediately going to think, yeah, this guy must have put money in crypto, right? He must be holding like, all sorts of gossips then, these must be holding hundreds of thousands of crores in, this thing, or billions or trillions of dollars in this and all that. Like people will, so they are like, okay, like why would I destroy my political career with this? Very selectively, some people we see on Twitter, they are talking about stable coins and tokenization because they don't feel like fully connected with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency has a very bad this thing in the brand in India. And I think that is why, like, I don't see a lot of, like, you won't see suddenly, our top politicians suddenly coming in support of this thing because, they will think that, oh, I will lose my reputation. People will think. So because we think crypto is related with money and money is a bad thing. That's our culture.
Okay. So as we say, like the American dream, so like you came from a very humble background, lower middle class family to now running $1 billion company. Okay. As we say like American dream, you have kind of lived the Indian dream. Okay. So what has been changed for you, and does money really makes you happy at this point of time?
See, money definitely makes your life easier, and I would say some level of happiness. Money does buy happiness, but it buys in chunk. It doesn't buy constant happiness. It can buy you a chunk of happiness or few moments of happiness. Like, when I growing up for this, from that background where, like, my father was making literally 5,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees a month, right? And with a family of 5 living on rent and all that. When I take my mother to, like, let's say a very fancy restaurant, or, when you take her, when I take her for some movies, let's say, where there is a recliner seat and all that, right? And the seat itself costs like, maybe 2,000-3,000 rupees, especially here in Dubai, right? This thing. So that gives you, like, I feel a lot of happiness in that, right? Now I have a very, I have a good house for my family where my mom and my parents live with me here in Dubai. Like, we know we Indians are like that, right? So they live with me. My kid lives these days. My sister and my brother-in-law, and they also have a small kid. They'll also live with us. So we have a nice village going on. That happiness is not possible without. If I did not have money, I couldn't afford in Dubai. Even in India, it's hard to afford like that kind of, like, a spacious house. And I have a good spacious house and this thing. So that is happiness. So money does buy you happiness, but to a certain extent. Like if you once you go through that money cycle, you have seen some things there, then that dopamine hit immediately gets stopped. So your tolerance keeps on growing. And now you have two options from there. You can become greedy, and then you keep running about, oh, much bigger, even bigger expense, even I have private jet, private yacht. All these things you can keep following, and still you will never be satisfied. Or you understand and you say that, okay, there is the bare minimum part. So in US also they say money does buy you happiness, but up to $100,000 or $150,000 a year. There is a number. If you make beyond that, in India probably that number is, let's say, 1 crore rupees a year. Maybe not, a little bit more, 2-3 crore rupees a year. Once you are making more than 3-4 crore rupees a year, let's say 5 crores. I don't think beyond that, adding any more money, even 5 crores is a very big number. Like, I think 1 or 2 crores if you're making 1 year per year, money-wise, whatever money can buy, you already have it. Beyond that, it will not add anything to you. It will taper away. Like, marginal utility of money will this, and then again you will have your own pains and all that. So yeah, it won't help you beyond that. Where it can help you is, for example, I'm very ambitious. I want to do these interesting things in tech, like, AI, space, this, that. It allows me some opportunity to, like, look into those spaces, although the business requires focus also. So now I've cut down a lot of, interests of mine. I only focus on Polygon, little bit on Sentient, and that's pretty much it. But other thing is, like, let's say some people like to do, some charitable work. I also like that, and I have pretty big, charity systems. I was lucky that at that time a lot of people donated to this also. So that also, like, again, without money, I couldn't support those families and all that. So that is also helpful. So yeah, that way.
Is there any number in your mind if in India, if some person reached this net worth, he can be kind of financially free, and now he have achieved that threshold. After that, he can just focus on the work, right? Like you are doing it in Dubai or maybe US. Any specific number in your mind?
I think in India that should be because your aspiration keep on growing and all that. I think, like, but if you want to finish your aspiration, whatever, like, I want to have the best house and all that, maybe in 10-20 crores you can get like one of the top kind of like, of course there are 100 crore houses also, but 20-30 crores you can get. So I would say like probably in India 100 crores is that number. If you make 100 crores, then beyond that it can barely do much. You can do all kinds of holidays where you want to, good hotels you can go. Beyond that, the sky is the limit, right? After that, greed has no limit, right? So basically you can think about the private jets and all that. For that, thousands of crores is also not possible. I think 100 crores is a very good number. Globally, I think that number would be $50 million. So in Indian currency, for 400-500 crores. Globally, wherever you are living, if you have $50 million, beyond that, money literally does not add any. See, and these days also, for example, I do not eat anything extra that you might have, let's say. Whatever like you eat, whichever restaurant you can go to, I also go to. Like there's no restaurant which is serving gold on the plate, right? They might be putting some of them, but there's nothing. Some they might do. But there's no restaurant. So you still like, having the, like I still like to have McDonald's and KFC and all that. You're also having Pani Puri. You still, so I'm saying whatever food you have, I am having the same food. Whatever brands I can wear, I am not interested in like this. And I have seen like the people who have really made it in their life, they are not interested in these brands and whatnot, right? So I don't wear brands. I don't wear like a crore rupees of, this thing, the watch and all that. I'm just not interested in that. I would rather spend that money on like, some kids' education or whatever. Like that will give me, not for the kid. Again, like I'm not trying to be saying like, oh, I'm like so big heart. Because I will like it. Because when I see kids, there have been a lot of team members in my team which joined us. They were like 19, 20 years of age. And, I generally talk with them, like, who's there in your family, who's your friends and this and that. And they'll say, like one guy actually told me that I am actually competing with this friend of mine and he's earning this much money and I want to. And so I made that my goal also, that, it will be fun when he crosses him. And then he became like much bigger, because he was good also, of course. He started making much more money than his own friend and all that. And we, kind of have a mini celebration there, like, oh, now you won and this and that. But that gives me happiness. Like, I'm not saying that I did it for him because I, felt so much. Like, it gave me that happiness. It's kind of a game you're playing. So, again, like, I would spend that kind of money on some kid's education and then see in 5-10 years that kid becomes intelligent and he's, joining IIT and all that. That gives me much more happiness than whatever money can buy. I think like once you come from a poor family, like doing things for your family and parents and all that. Like when I go to, like I have never gone to, probably one time, like when I was getting married, at that time I went to Italy with my wife. Otherwise, my wife is also like, I have to be very thankful to my wife. We go everywhere where we go with family, with my parents and mom and all that. And so for me, what I want to see is their reaction when we go in Italy and they see, oh, this is like so amazing, such greenery is there, Switzerland. So I always take my parents, on these things like Maldives and all that. And I want them to see, oh, this is such a nice sea. And you get happiness because the happiness actually spreads in a way, especially from your family it spreads. It's really, really, really good happiness. Yeah.
Because we come from a like background ki हम नहीं देखा. We have not seen that, है ना? And we are
giving your parents house, giving your parents good, car to with a driver where they can go around and all that. Getting them to go to good hotels, see those. That is some of the best happiness money can buy. So yes, money does buy happiness. That's why I'm saying.
Yes, totally perfect. So let's go to like recently. You were at DevCon by any chance?
Yeah.
You were at DevCon. So we saw a guy known as Thiru, and
you were also there.
No, unfortunately not. So Thiru like kind of faced a lot of racism at that point of time, right? And so what's your overall thought on that? Because you have been to many places.
See, racism. Thiru has faced very less racism. Really have faced a lot of racism, right? Even now I face, like, people will like this, never trust Indians, like we have trust like Pajits and this and that, like, many racial slurs we have, Indians have, right? So they will use that. And I think like, I basically like don't take it like seriously, right? I even make like fun of my own, like hello, like this kind of Indian thing and all that. So because I'm allowed to make all the Indian jokes, right? So I think like racism is a general tendency of human beings. Basically, we like to belong. Like sense of belongingness is our core, one of the core feelings that we have. And and so that core sense of belongingness also brings like we versus them. So everybody's like, this is this. So this Thiru, what he faced is, he also made a tweet which is like, hello Argentina, I'm in you or something like that, which then some people might have gone angry. Argentina, I did not find people like to be racist at all. Like I thought that they were like very welcoming and all that. So that happens a lot on Twitter. On Twitter, basically, there's no cost of trolling, right? In real life, let's say, like if like the kind of things people say to me, right? Like I come from Jamnapar, East Delhi. I have done a lot of like scuffle fights, like the street fights in my life, right?
Delhi boy.
Delhi boy. Right, so Delhi se hain pe, right? So if somebody trolls me like this kind of like disrespectful talk in person, either them or me are going down, right? Like there is no chance. But on Twitter there is no cost. There's no cost of shit talking. Like Mike Tyson also said, right, that these these social media people in social media, there is no cost of disrespecting somebody. But in real life, if you disrespect, like he said something like that, like, because they don't know the cost of disrespecting and they don't know the cost of getting punched in the face. That's why they can troll anybody. And people have trolled me a lot, like a lot of things, especially when price was going down and this and that. And those people, like some of those people I run into in public, they're super nice people. Then he's in, bro. And I'm like, initially one of that guy, like I was like, bro, don't be this polite here now, right? Like, say what you want to say now, say, right? And like, and then if people watch Khabib, like MMA fight, like, the Khabib's Conor McGregor fight, like where he says, where he's on top of that guy, like, it's like, let's talk now. I wanted to have that moment, but then, he was very nice in reality. So people troll a lot, like, you should not, we Indians, some part of it, see, we get trolled and we also troll other people. So it's not like that, right? So we also, like, for example, Chinese people will troll and all that. Even some of the people, like our own Northeast people, we troll, right? So we should not be like crying victim. And, I have got out of this mentality. I don't cry victim about racial trolling because everybody does that. First. Second thing is, I think we should have a big chip on our shoulder for, like, if we remove the last 300 years, we were the biggest economy of the world, and today we are still like top 5 now, but it's like not kind of that top 5, right? It's like by the numbers. And we have a big chip on our shoulder. We should become one of the top economies in the next 20 to 50 years. We should try to be. So instead of crying, do something to change that narrative, right? So I've stopped crying, and I used to cry a lot, by the way, internally. But now I stopped caring about racial. If somebody makes a racial blur, I will actually just play with it. Right? I'll say, yeah, bro. Like, bro, hello. I'll just post like that tweet, hello, there's that. Like, I don't care. But I will prove to them with my work. Right? So, a lot of like, because of these, one thing that happened with Indians is that because of these call center calling and these scams happening, suddenly, like, and that is because a lot of local average household people in US and all that, like innocent people getting scammed by these people. So then Indians being scammer kind of started becoming a branding, right? So that's why I think our government should heavily crack down on that, because that destroys the image of the entire nation. And so they think like Indian scammer, this and that. And so with me, whatever I have done with Polygon, hopefully, and I keep hearing for this, hopefully I have set some standard. And then, in 6-8 months back, 12 months back, there were like few crypto project scams were happening, and then the founders were like Indian origin founders and Indian origin Americans though. But I was like, man, like this we worked so hard for this, building this image, and then people started saying that these Indian scammers, what do you expect from these Indian scammers, blah blah blah, and all that. So I have at least tried in crypto that there is some level of good image that okay, Indian people are actually trying to build real thing. Right, so we are not into this crypto scams and all that, but because we have such a large country, there are like elements who don't care, like they just want to make their own money and then run away, right? So, but that creates a lot of image issues for us. And Indian government should heavily crack down on these call center stuff. Like this cannot go. Yeah.
Definitely, I can bet on that. You have inspired like thousands of builders in India. Like you have literally inspired the next wave of builders who are building in India right now, and you have set the bar like what can be done, and you have set like you have made sure that India is on the map of crypto world. Like so, huge thanks to you on that part. And if some young Indian hustler or a builder watching this right now, and you are sure he's going to face this kind of racial discriminations, what will be your message for him?
Yeah, so I already said, I tweeted about this also. Look up for my tweet. First, stop crying about it. This is what you are born with. Being an Indian has let's say some racial this thing also against you, but you also have a lot of privilege. You have this large economy you are born in. You can do business there. You have pretty good colleges in India. If you have good skills in you and this thing in you, you can get for my whole life, I studied from initially engineering from somewhere where I got loan from government, right, to do. Then I did my MBA from IIM Mumbai there also. Then I got the government loan. So you have a lot of privilege also. Please stop crying. Okay. You have the privilege of coming from a culture which is probably the oldest, probably 12,000. Now Nilesh Oak, highly recommend his podcast on Ranveer's show. Nilesh Oak, who talks about the Indian actual historical evidence of Indian culture and all that. So you come from that culture and all that. So have pride in you. Have that chip on the shoulder for yourself and show it to the world. And stop caring about this thing. Do the real thing. Do you deliver value? They will respect. And good part is Indian CEOs. Again, this is also the privilege. Now, because of these hundreds of Indian CEOs of Silicon Valley companies, people when you go to the real people who mean the business, you as an Indian, you already have some level of respect. The way, for example, Chinese people have respect in AI. Indian people have respect in information technology or IT related stuff, tech software related stuff. So you have that privilege also. Stop crying about it and then utilize the best of your strengths, which India offers you as a privilege, which is this global brand name that Indian people are really good at software. Indian people are really good at running businesses, and you have a large economy backing you in some form as a market, and work backwards from there. You see examples of Sumit Gupta from CoinDCX, right? And he has done really well. Recently Coinbase invested in them hundreds of millions of dollars, $135 million, something like that, some big number. So they have also done it. I am doing it. So there's nothing to cry about. And point is, you can cry as much you want. If you cry, they will troll you both. So
just smile and take the troll.
Just smile and take the troll. Involve themselves. You be a part of that troll. Yesterday somebody was trolling me and saying that I said that Michael Saylor, BTC, the hope that this doesn't become a Luna death spiral. And then this guy tweeted that hope this doesn't become a pivot that Polygon pivots into, insinuating that Polygon pivots into a lot of these, shiny narratives and all that. And I said, you bet, if that was possible, I would do that. I will just troll that guy. But then I was also tweeting that, we've been trying to find the utility with enterprises and this and that. Finally, there is some utility which we can see with stablecoins and payments, and that's where we're doing. So yeah, don't take it on hard.
So world biggest treasury company MicroStrategy is down from 50 to 70% in just few months. Okay, and you also tweeted about it can be a Luna 2.0 or something like that. Okay, so what made you tweet that? Because honestly, I'm kind of scared because whole situation and debts things are going on right now. What's your thought on that?
See, first of all, Michael Saylor, who runs it, he's now a legend in the Bitcoin industry. So nothing taking away from this. But the structure of the company, because what they have done is that, let's say you have $100 of Bitcoin. The company got $100 of Bitcoin. Now they have two different ways of buying more Bitcoin. What they do is, let's say now they have $100 of Bitcoin, their company was valued at 120 million. So what they will do previously, $120. What they were doing is they were issuing more shares. So people are buying from the market and then they get the cash, they buy more Bitcoin. So issue more shares. This is perfectly fine. Whoever bought the shares, if the shares are down, then that's fine. Next thing what they started doing is they also pledge their shares and take loan from the bank. So let's say you pledge $100 of shares and you took a loan of $80, right? Now you bought Bitcoin from that. Now bank has given you a margin. Bank has a margin requirement of unless your $100 worth of money comes down to, let's say, or $100 worth of money comes down to 90, I'm okay. But below 90, then you have to pay me back the loan amount of money, or this amount of money, right? So now imagine I have put $100 of stock and then I took $80 worth of this thing from that, like the loan, and I bought Bitcoin. Now that Bitcoin now starts going down in value. This is what happened last 2 months, like especially after October 10. So now the Bitcoin is going down in value. So my stock's value is already going down because it's pegged to the Bitcoin value. So now the $100 I pledged in stock to the bank is already going lower and lower and lower. It's like now is $90, and I might have been in a situation where bank says no, pay me back my money. Now imagine if that happens. Now that your stock is at, let's say, 90, right? And the Bitcoin in your stock is at 80. Probably it will go to 80 only, right? Bank says pay me back. Your stock is at 80. Now you go and how will you pay this debt? You have to sell the Bitcoin, right? Once you sell the Bitcoin, your stock also starts going down, right? You pay your debt. And so how much leverage you have taken? If it's like $10-20 billion, then you have to keep selling your Bitcoin till the time you pay back that $20 billion, right? So how much is this variable? I have not looked up like those, but this can create a death spiral kind of situation. Luna was also like a similar kind of situation, but very different, very, very different, a very different environment. But still, they also, their stable coin was backed by their stock, and then once the model was that if the stable coin loses its peg, then people can mint more tokens from the market, and then buy back and burn the stable coins and whatnot, and that actually created a spiral. For the longest time it did not. So the spiral situations, leverage, spiral leverage situations is why I tweeted that hope this is not there. I don't think it is going to be. Michael Saylor is also a kind of a reputed person and a very smart person in the stock markets and all that. They would figure out some solution. Hopefully they figure out. If not, like I was also going to say, like all the big people of the industry, we should figure out the CZs and Paolo from Tether and all that. They should figure out. They should try to see how they can help in this. But even if there is no help, like this kind of big leverage from these big boys, this should be more publicly visible, where market sees that, oh, this is the leverage. If things start going in that direction, that market actually at least talks about it. That's the power of blockchain, right? It's transparency, DeFi protocols. If something is going to get liquidated, everybody talks about it, and generally market take a reverse position according to that. So hopefully that's why I tweeted that.
Okay. Also, like you recently mentioned about like Ethereum as a shit show, right? So if you ever start again, do you like to still be part of the Ethereum ecosystem, or you will be like doing everything independent?
No, 100% I will still do Ethereum, because I believe in the Ethereum's core, like, and this layer 2 kind of construction, which is basically, see, any of the layer 1 blockchain, let's say Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever it is, they have to pay billions of dollars in the yearly inflation to secure the network. And then we are building execution environments, right, where the lot of transactions and payments can happen, right? So if we try to create the same decentralization, we have to also pay. Like, it's not sustainable. Everybody has to pay $1 billion a token. That's why the tokens will get dumped in the market. So what you can do is the Ethereum smart contracts allow you to borrow that trust and decentralization into this execution environment where you can process a lot of transactions and all that. I fundamentally believe in that thesis. That's why even if I started again, I would still do the Ethereum thing. Like at least the start for everybody to start. Like then they want decentralization and trustlessness. Ethereum is the right place to start. Some other projects, they can start like this and then transform into a layer 1. They can transform, but I would still start. And I came into crypto with Ethereum only. I did not come into crypto fully impressed by Bitcoin only, because that's the MATIC theory, store of value and all that. In Indian context, that was not very clear to us. Even now, like yesterday, I was explaining to top government officials who know everything about the industry, but they are also like, but what backs Bitcoin? Like, if I lose money, who's the accountable party, right? In Bitcoin, like there's no accountable party. So that's how the crypto works, and I would do that.
Also, like recently you have done a great progress when it comes to stable coin volumes and adoption. How does future look like for Polygon in 2030?
So the future for Polygon, like what I want to be is that Polygon becomes the hub of stablecoin economy. The world is transforming into stablecoin economy. A large part of this economy is going to convert into stablecoin economy. And there I want Polygon to be the number one stablecoin, platform in the world. And
Only focus stablecoin.
Only focus stablecoins and payments. Stablecoin means only stablecoin don't do much. Payments and remittances and all these other kind of financial use cases related to stablecoins. So the payments and fintechs is the primary use case that we are going after, and I want Polygon to be the number one platform on that. And there are trillions of dollars, by the way, coming into the market, right? So into the stablecoin economy, and for Polygon Labs, I want to be the number one stablecoin company in the world, like stablecoin payments company.
Okay. Any numbers you are targeting for?
So I want Polygon Labs to be Polygon blockchain to be moving, let's say by 2030, probably $5 to $10 trillion yearly right now. And this is not a very big number, by the way. Like in India, if you see Polygon right now, we already process $500 billion stablecoin worth of transactions with using DEX swaps and everything. It will be $500 billion for this year already. And if you see only payments, it will be still like $40-50 billion. Like every month, it's like $14 to $15 billion, and including fintechs and all that. So it's already there. I want Polygon chain to be processing from $500 billion, where it would be, let's say today, to like $10 trillion. And I want Polygon Labs to be in the loop. Polygon Labs now, which is getting into these payments and fintech, labs to be a part of $1 trillion of those transactions. Like where Polygon Labs is orchestrating banking, this, that, and making some revenue there.
Kind of a backbone of whole payment ecosystem.
Payment ecosystem also. Like, you can very high level system, you can see like Coinbase is doing base, right? Binance, BNB does, Binance chain and all that. So but Polygon Labs, I want Polygon Labs to be a strong payments company based on stablecoins and does all this activity on the Polygon chain, and which grows the chain and the token and everything. But also like Polygon Labs becomes a sustainable business, because the only model right now all these foundations and token projects do is that you have a token treasury, you sell the tokens, you get some money, and then with that you keep building the protocol. Like now I want Polygon Labs to be a profitable company which keeps sustaining, which can keep building this protocol for 50 years. So it's a profitable company. It's not like, you have limited amount of resources, you're selling, and that selling brings sell pressure on the token and all that. I just want to get away from that.
Also, like you spoke about sell pressure, right? Polygon have grabbed one of the best partnerships in this industry, right? But still, it's kind of not reflected well on the price of the whole token.
But that's true. That's true. But generally, what has happened is, like, if you see the price of Polygon, like, that's one part. But let's say, see the price of any layer 2 now, right? Like, there are other protocols like Arbitrum, Optimism, all that. Everybody has like these pricing pressures. I really wish that, Base from Coinbase launches and the token does very well, because that will reprice the entire L2 industry.
Agree. It will set the bar kind of.
Set the bar for this thing, yeah.
After everything you have gone through, what is the meaning of life for you? And if we say that is a last public conversation you are having right now, what would be your message?
So my message that meaning of life is meaningless. There is no meaning of life.
Really?
Yes. Life is meaningless. On universe scale, life is meaningless. Whatever you are doing, I am doing, Elon Musk is doing, Einstein did, one small asteroid comes and then everything is wiped out. So even on the solar system level, we are not that big. Okay, we are one conscious, sentient civilization here. But beyond that, even on the solar system level, we are not that big that we think of ourselves of. Simply on the galaxy, Milky Way galaxy level, nothing. There's no meaning to this. And on the universe level, absolutely no meaning to this. So what is the purpose of life? There are two questions. Like, what is meaning of life? I think like life is meaningless. What is the purpose of life? Purpose of life is still, and this is like a circular argument, that purpose of life is to keep finding the meaning of life, like keep looking for more. But as of now, my conclusion is that life is meaningless. But the purpose of life is you play in the super mode, and in the super mode you try to find the meaning of life. Like, what is the meaning of life? And Elon Musk like quotes this again and again from the Hitchhiker's Guide of Guide to Galaxy. They say that instead of like talking about the answer, that what is the answer of what is the meaning of life, instead ask the question. Like, if the universe is the outcome, if you and me are sitting here and this consciousness is the outcome, what is the question? Right? So that's the part that I also believe in. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's play rapid fire. Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Ethereum.
Indian rupee or stablecoin?
Stablecoin.
Dollar backed by stablecoin or crypto native stablecoin?
Dollar backed by stablecoin.
Sardar Khan or
stablecoin backed by dollar.
okay. Sardar Khan or Ramadir Singh?
Ramadir Singh.
L1 or L2?
No, just for his acting actually. Not his role, not his character, but his acting. Ramadir Singh, yeah. 100%.
Okay, got it. L1 or L2?
L2.
Dubai or Singapore?
Dubai.
Favorite गाली कौन सी है?
Favorite गाली.
Okay. So you have to choose one project you want to kill, one project you want to marry or hook up. अब इसमें आपका project का नाम नहीं ले सकते हो. You cannot take your own project name. Yeah.
अबे यार ये तो बड़ा खतरनाक क्वेश्चन है यार. So the kill I would say is this pi network,
Okay.
right? These kind of things, because these are like complete, like looks like MLM scams, and they destroy the name of the whole community and or the industry. And then marry, I would marry. I would marry Fluid, right? Because they are trying to actually build real business on chain, or many DeFi projects, but Fluid, for example, I like a lot these days. And then Hookup probably Solana, because it's so cool. Like the community is very cool for the brand, like technology wise. They are doing. I'm on Ethereum, building on Ethereum. But then, hookup wise, because their brand is cool. Like Akshay BD is my favorite guy, like their marketing guy. Like I know him. He was equally, kind of leaning towards Polygon also before he went to Solana, and that's a big loss. The biggest loss for Polygon is like, we couldn't keep Akshay BD, and he actually left because he thought that what is this, like Polygon is doing such great work, Ethereum people are shouting at it and all that. What is this politics? He left. He went to Solana, and he has played a big role in Solana's success. So yeah, because of Akshay BD, Solana I will hook up.
Perfect. So you have been a huge inspiration for me and millions of Indians.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for you to be here, and I'm very sure it's going to inspire thousands of people.
And I told you, like first time I met you, I can see in your eyes that this guy is going to hustle the fuck out of everything, but he's going to get what he wants from this life and universe. And he'll keep fighting. So I'm very happy to see all your success. And yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for having me.